The group at the bottom has offshored to a large extent, and jobs have shrunk. So we have that group at the top that's pink. It's about the same size as this, but now we have a lot more college students. This group at the bottom, a lot of this is offshored now. So we don't know what to do in a large extent for these students. And those are the people that I personally am most concerned about. I think that's where education is totally in the dark and needs to be rethought. So what do students, all students, because I go around the world and talk to a lot of students, what do they want and need from education? To find it out, we need to talk to them and truly listen to them. And we had the great experience last night at the school of listening to kids and talking to them and seeing how much they had to say. And the younger they were, the more they had to say about their own education. And it's a wonderful experience that we don't do enough of. So we have this. I didn't put it in the picture from last night, but I should have. But these are some of the kids that I have spent time with, listening to and talking to. And they're all ages, and they're in all places. Some of them are in New York City. Some of them are in Abu Dhabi. They have very similar things to say if we listen. I'm sitting here in the principal's office in a high school, and I'm talking to these kids, and the kid in the back who's got the white hoodie on, this kid here, had a lot of interesting things to say about his education, about what he could do, what we could do differently in the school, and I thought that was great. When we got out of the room, the principal called me aside, and he said, "Mark, you know that kid you were just talking to?" I said, "Yeah." "He hasn't said a word in 3 years." Guess what? No one asked. So we have to start asking. We have to start talking with our students about more than just their grades or what their latest project was. Here are 10 things that the students tell me that they want from their education, and this is true around the world, because we got a lot of yeses yesterday when we asked the students. They want to be respected, trusted, and have their opinions valued and counted. And as Neves alluded to, we treat our young people terribly. We treat them very much as second-class citizens. We treat them like we used to treat women 100 years ago. We don't listen. We don't care. If you take the world and now turn it on its side, now that we've fixed the problem of men and women, thankfully, half the world is under 25, and half the world is over. Well, the people who are over don't listen to the ones at the bottom, and I hope that's something that's going to change in the 21st century. So they want to be respected and trusted, have their opinions valued and count. They want to follow their own interests and passions. They're not really concerned about our interests and passions, but they certainly have their own, and we'll talk more. They want to create. They want to use the tools of their time, and they know what those tools are. They want to work on group work and projects with other people, especially if we can get the slackers out and not give people credit for work they don't do. They want to express and share their opinions. They want to make decisions and share control. Share, not have, but share control. They want to connect with their peers, not just in their school, not just in their country, around the world, because they already know that they can do that, and they already do that. They want to cooperate and compete, just like they do in their video games, and they want their education not to be just relevant to them, but they want a real education that's going to matter. They want an education, in short, that's going to prepare them for the rest of their lives. And as we just heard, the rest of their lives are changing. That's the problem that we have. It used to be that for students, the future and the past were the same. So if we gave them the same education that their parents got, that'd be fine, because they were going to live in the same world that their parents did. But now for students, the future will be very, very, very different from the past. Because we heard about this word context, and this is so important. the new context for education. That's what's changed. When people ask you why we need to change, it's the context has changed, and the new context is accelerating change. That's what it is. And there's at least three kinds of change happening in education simultaneously. Changing students. We're talked about digital natives and other things. Students grow up with different experiences. Changing technology, we all know about that. And changing pedagogy. And all of those come together to form what I call the perfect storm of change. Because things are changing so fast, students today need an education that prepares them to follow their own passions, essentially to be themselves and to go as far as they are capable. Not to be pushed in any direction, but to be themselves, to follow their own dreams and passions. They're fast becoming mobiles. The technology is moving like an out-of-control roller coaster. And the pedagogy is, just to put it nicely, in need of some renewal. We bounce from fad to fad in education. Listen to one teacher. So our job is to figure out what is basic. What do we have to change? Otherwise, we will just keep doing this, bouncing from fad to fad to fad as we try to fix a system that is an old one. And absolutely, I agree with what Nieves said. Most of what's going on in educational reform is money being wasted. And why is it being wasted? Because it's trying to bring back and perfect and make better the old system. If only we could have great teachers, if only we could do it like we used to do it, if only we could engage the kids in our lectures. But that's not going to work. Don't worry, however, I'm here. This is taken by my son when he was 3.5 with his own iPhone. I'm here to help you deal with it and still stay sane. In case any of you know what those little things are. The change is accelerating. Think about it. It took 50 years for the cell phone, which is 50 years old, believe it or not, the mobile phone, to get to 4 billion users. It took only 1 year for the iPhone to have 1 billion apps downloaded. So this march to the billions, we get to 1 billion people very quickly with technology if it's something they need. If somebody comes out with a better search engine than Google tomorrow, we'll have billions of people switching to that new company. And so the world, especially the world of the young people, is going to evolve much farther and much faster than any of us really dream about. Here's an example.